Hey there, Marina Ormes here with your Astro vibe for Monday, March 6th. We are in the midst of some changing times. We have a full moon approaching, actually in the wee hours, my time coming up on March 7th. So that Virgo full moon sort of bringing magic, mystery, culmination, and the need to make things tangible that we've been working on in this Pisces moon cycle, which is more about spiritual themes. So I talked about that yesterday, and our the potency of this full moon and its timing related to Saturn going into Pisces, which is Saturn only changes signs every 2 to 2.5 years. So it's kind of a significant shift in an outer planet's placement. And let's talk a little bit about what Saturn going into Pisces means, but also just thinking about today's moon in Virgo, right? The moon has shifted into Virgo, goes into Virgo, just as the day begins here with let me actually look at the time. So it looks like towards the end of the day on Sunday, 7 p.m. my time, around there. So I'm on Pacific time. So certainly as the day begins on Monday, we have the moon in Virgo, and that shift from the moon in Leo into Virgo brings a kind of a grounding, back to earth, down to earth kind of feeling as we shift into Virgo energy from that experience of Leo and shining and drama and playfulness and creativity and expression. So we move through that Leo energy that's about experiencing the movement of energy from the inside out. It's about living life. It's about doing things. It's about being and moving from your whatever it is that's moving you, right? Hopefully it's your higher truth. And then when that moon shifts into Virgo, we shift into almost a downshift, right? A shifting of gears into a lower vibration, a more grounded vibration, getting connected with the earth. Thinking about what needs to happen, how to make it right, how to get it right, how to put things into a form that can be valuable here on the earth plane. And so thinking about where we can improve on things, how we can make them better, how we can build things. Maybe in Leo we have that expression, the feeling of excitement and creativity, but then Virgo is about, okay, let's get real, let's roll up our sleeves, let's ask ourselves, what does that actually mean? What does that actually look like? How are we, what do we need? What are the materials? What are the details? How long is this going to take? All those real world things to be addressed. And it's not a bad thing, right? Virgo energy and the energy of connecting with making things happen is really powerful. It feels good. Think about how it feels to plant a seed in your garden and watch it grow and be able to even harvest it and enjoy its fruits. So it's a powerful process. Virgo brings us some really wonderful energy, even though it doesn't get a lot of press in terms of being super exciting. So with this Virgo energy, of course, and the full moon that is coming and is almost here, and we're already feeling the light of that full moon, and we're seeing how that culmination or illumination, right, of the light onto the moon, reflected light from the sun off of the moon, is fully illuminated, is fully reflecting. So it's fully reflecting back to us what it is we need to see or hear or know, or what needs to come into our awareness that is going to help us go, oh, okay, aha, I see what needs to happen. I see how that can work. And of course, with Virgo energy, with the full moon being in Virgo, it's about kind of a recognition of how to put things into tangible form. Specifically, things that have been touching us, things that have been opening our hearts, things that have been bringing meaning into our lives, a recognition of the bigger picture and what really does feel good and right and true with the Pisces moon cycle that we're in, that began 2 weeks ago with the Pisces new moon. So Virgo full moon energy, and with this Virgo full moon energy, we also have this shift of Saturn into Pisces. And so Saturn has been in Aquarius since the end of 2020, when it made its conjunction with Jupiter. And if you might recall, 2020 was a year of a triple conjunction between Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. It was also the year of a pandemic and many an election, many other things that were going on that kind of upset the apple cart, or brought some interesting developments to our lives. So, and all the ramifications of that, right? And of course, also with the Saturn in Aquarius energy, we had the eruption of Black Lives Matter, Me Too movement, all the things that get us thinking about what does fairness, justice, and equality really look like. So themes of social justice, themes of our responsibility. What is our responsibility to these themes of equality? What does it mean for us? How do we need to respond? How are we responsible for making the world a better place, making it a more fair place, bringing about the visions and ideals of Aquarius, which says in the future, all human beings are seen as equal, and can, at least that is an ideal that we can envision and see as, hopefully see as a possibility and something that we are working toward. So not perfect, far from perfect, but it is an ideal, and it is worthy of our efforts, which is Saturn. Saturn is about our efforts, our hard work. What do we need to do? How are we responsible? So these themes, which are very Aquarian, have to do with ideas of the future. What are the solutions going to look like in the future? What new technologies might come into our awareness? Might we be working on? Some of us are working on those technologies. Some of us are working on how to think outside the box in whatever area it is that we are making a contribution to. And it is the effort of thinking outside the box that is going to make that difference. And that has been the theme of Saturn in Aquarius. So as Saturn shifts into Pisces, we go into a background theme of more spiritual quality. It is a focus on our interconnectedness, on a feeling of how we impact one another, how we are not separate, what unifies us, how we are all interrelated, and also how we can perceive and appreciate the big picture. So how things have meaning outside of maybe what we've understood that meaning to be in the past. What are the qualities that help to open our hearts, and what does that look like? So that these Saturnian themes of responsibility, of hard work, of putting in effort, of being disciplined, and making things right with the world and ourselves. So with Saturn in Aquarius, there were themes coming up about making things right in terms of social justice, equality, climate change, the problems of the world. And not that those, we'll still be working on those. Those themes will continue, but we're going to shift into an approach that has more to do with how we need to earn the right to have have meaning in our lives, to have love and unconditional ways of belonging and being part of humanity and this wonderful planet that we live in. So how do we have responsibility for caring for the greater whole? And that could be seen as the planet. It could be seen as, how one person in one country is treated. How does that, what does that have to do with me? And seeing how the consequences of our choices, our actions, things that we do here in our everyday lives, and how that might impact our brothers and sisters in another part of the world. So really seeing our interconnectedness, seeing what kinds of responsibility we have, and again, to make things right with the world, to acknowledge that the world is a place that can be a loving place if we put the effort in to make it so. And that our relationship with ourselves can be a forgiving one, a kind and caring relationship. We can be compassionate with ourselves when we do that work to be responsible and to say, hey, I have responsibility for how I treat myself. I have responsibility for how I experience my life and the world. I have responsibility for being open to the flow of love, which means letting what is be. It means surrendering to what is, but it also means putting in effort to say, here's how I want to see things flow more easily, more compassionately, more thinking about the whole, more how do we care for ourselves, our planet, all creatures, all beings. So really thinking about how we are interconnected and what kinds of responsibilities we have to serve that interconnectedness and the worthiness and value of all life, including ourselves. A great place to start with yourself. So, and also just thinking in terms of Saturnian consequences. So some of the consequences with Saturn in Aquarius have been, thinking about the consequences of technology. Aquarius relates to themes of higher technology, higher forms of communication. And so what are the impacts that has? Where do we need to be responsible for that? What kind of real world consequences does that bring to our lives? Those are some of the themes we've been grappling with since Saturn went into Aquarius. And AI and ethics around technology and how we're handling different things. Do we have checks and balances in place to make sure that technology is safe and social media is safe, and kind of reckoning with some of those questions. So as Saturn goes into Pisces, we are going to have more of a theme of consequences around, where have we gotten off track? Where have we lost our way? Yesterday's video, I shared, a lot about the Neptunian Piscean energy and how it can bring a fog of confusion, delusion, getting lost in illusions. And so Saturn in Pisces could bring some consequences to some of those themes: delusional thinking, following illusions, getting lost in the fog. All those kinds of things can have real world consequences. And I think we're going to start to see more of that surfacing in the news and in our lives about how choices we have made that were a little misguided or off track are going to have consequences, and we're going to have a chance to get things right and to make it right. So if you missed yesterday's video, be sure to check that out with the the themes of what it looks like to get lost in the illusions with Neptune and Pisces, and with Saturn going into Pisces. What kind of consequences could we be seeing? I actually had a video a few weeks ago. You can look in the 2023 playlist, because it's in there, about how Saturn going into Pisces in 2023 could bring some accountability or some sort of consequences or results. So that's a good one to check out as well. I think I might have even recorded that back in December. So kind of a forecast of what's to come with Saturn going into Pisces as one of the major shifts that is happening this year. And it's happening tomorrow, early morning in the Pacific time, US, as Saturn goes into Pisces. And then, of course, later in this month, we've got a spring equinox. We've got Mars going from Gemini into Cancer. We've got Pluto going into Aquarius, which is a big deal. Pluto stays in a sign for much longer than Saturn even. It has been in Capricorn since 2008 and will finally be making its shift into Aquarius. And what that means and what we have to look forward to with that, I've covered that topic in some videos as well. So that 2023 playlist should have lots of good insights for you into those big themes and topics for the year. And so we've got these big picture things going on, and we put in the moon sign. It changes every couple of days, and we can see how things change on a daily basis against these background themes that bring sort of a tone or a quality to current events and longer periods of time. So there's always so much to look at with astrology, and I'm here to help you apply it to your life and to see what it means for you and how you can be your very best self by understanding what's going on. And so maybe being a little kinder and gentler with yourself, because you can have that context of what's going on with the planets, where the moon is, what the mood of the day is, and why you might be feeling some of the things you're feeling. So I am here every day with the astrology of unshakable self-care. Sometimes I give you a little bit longer video with a bigger picture theme that's happening. And otherwise, every day I try to at least give you what's going on with the moon and whatever else is shifting. So tomorrow, early morning, is the Virgo full moon and Saturn going into Pisces, and I will be back with you tomorrow to look more at that and what it will look like and feel like as we live through it in our real world lives. All right, thanks so much for being here. I am at astrologyheals.com if you're interested in learning more about how to work with me. I do. Thank you so much for being here and for following these videos. I've been just getting the best comments from people about how you are enjoying them, and thank you for your support. Hitting the subscribe button is the best way you can support me, and hitting the like button, commenting, all of it is really helpful. So thank you. I appreciate being here, and I appreciate you. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.